Hi all, it's Kylie. Thanks for joining me again today. Today's class I'm going to start using more of my small paper pads. Let's face it, we've all still got oodles and oodles and oodles of them, so I'm really trying to work my way through smaller ones and some of my scrapbook paper, my 12 by 12s. So in today's class we're using one sheet of 12 by 12, just a plain one, and some more of our paper pads. But what we're doing is this wonderful little folio book. So it's just done from half a sheet of 12 by 12 paper. If you don't have any 12 by 12s, you can by all means make it with a manila folder, an old file folder, anything with a little bit more stiffness in it. So we want more cardstock than paperweight for the actual base. Oh, still haven't put my little beads on the end of that. So what we've got with this one is we've got, of course, our front cover, we've got our tab, and this opens right out. We've got a little booklet inside that slips in so that we can replace it when needed. We've got that one, and then it opens out to that. So there is our full sheet. And then if we turn it over, you'll see that we've got that and lots more room for pockets and all the rest. So come along, let's get stuck into this. Let's do this. It's nice and quick and easy. They always are with mine. Apologies before we go any further. I was a little bit head fuzzed, I suppose would be the best word for it. My measurements got a little bit fuzzy. I'm hoping you can understand them. It is really easy to do. Let's do this. Okay, so what you're going to need is a piece of cardstock, which will give you a little bit of firmness. So I've just used a piece of 12 by 12 craft card. You could use a manila folder. I'm just trying to use up all my 12 by 12s, plain or patterned. This one's plain. You can use patterned, double-sided, but you're going to be covering some of it anyway. So what you'll need is your normal 12 by 12 paper, sliced in half so that it's 12 inches across still and 6 inches high. So that one sheet will give you two of these little folders. What I want you to do is score in the middle so that you've got a fold so that it'll fold over to a 6 by 6 inch square. And then what we're going to do is mark in 3 inches from each side, and we're going to make some tabs. So what we're going to do with those is on the left hand side, you're going to measure down. Now it is, I think it's 5 eighths of an inch. Okay, so measure down 5 eighths of an inch, measure in 3 inches, measure down 5 eighths of an inch. Okay, measure in 3 inches up here, and this bit from here to here is 1.5 inches. Okay, I'll bring it up closer in a minute to show you. So we're going to measure it down 5 eighths of an inch and then measure down again 1.5 inches. And then you'll score the rest of this line from where that 1.5 inch bit comes there all the way down, and you'll score that tiny little bit up the top where it's 1 inch or 5 eighths of an inch. Okay, so that's a score line and that's a score line. And then what you'll do is you'll turn it around and do the same on this side. So 5 eighths of an inch, and then measure down 1.5 inches and do it that way again, so that you've got that on both sides. 3 inches in, 3 inches in. Now, what we need to do is make our little tabs so that these are all in the one piece. Measure over 1/2 inch. Okay, you'll see what I've done here. I've just measured over 1/2 inch and drawn a pencil line. Okay, find the center of that mark. So you've got the center of this one. If you went up your 1.5 inches, find the center, and then this line needs to be 1.25 inches. Okay, am I making sense? 1.25 inches. I'm just double checking my measurements. Yes, 1.25 inches. So I've written them all down here because I just made mine and then I've been trying to make up measurements for it. So that then gives you, this is your halfway mark. You want 1.25 inches all the way along from that halfway mark, which is going to give you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in your inches. Make sense? I'm hoping. Join this part to where this line finishes. Grab my pencil, bring it up. So here to here, here to here. We're going to cut this bit out. Okay, so you'll need a blade or something like that. I'm just going to turn it around so that I can see where I'm going. I'm going to join from that line so that this top one is 1.25 inches, and then I'm going back down to my wider one. Don't go all the way down if you're concerned where they're going. And then you can always attach them later on. So we can go back up, and so that I can put the point of my blade right on that spot and go up. Same with this one. It's probably easier with a blade than with your trimmer. Check that you've got it all the way through. I haven't. You want that line to go all the way through. There we go, so that you've got it open like that. Do exactly the same on the right side, but your tab this time is down the bottom. Okay, but both tabs face right. Does that make sense? So I'm just going to turn it around, and I know because I'm turning it around it makes it look difficult, but truly it's not. If you're concerned about it, make yourself a template in just, I don't know, copy paper or something like that that you've got lots of, scrap paper, anything like that, so that you can just then trace around them. Okay, where have I not got that bit? Got that bit. It's just that bit, just there. Right, so now I've got that. So going back to sitting in front of us, this one was scored, folded over. All right, scored at the top, scored at the bottom. No score line where that tab is. Same with this one, scored at the top, scored at the bottom, no score line where your tab is. So if you fold that over and then fold this back on itself, there's your tab now. No score line in your tab. Give that a crease down. This one will do the same, so that what we've got is a concertina effect with a tab at the top and a tab at the bottom. It looks a little bit difficult to make. It's truly not. Once you get your head around where to make those. Now these tabs can be any size you like. Okay? Don't fret if you don't have the exact same sizes as mine. They can be any size you like. I'm going to rub out a little bit of the pencil line that's left on that one. That one's fine. I don't have to worry about these pencil lines because we're going to cover them. In essence, that's your little folder. Okay, simple as that. Now each one of these need to be covered. Now what I'm using is, I've got a paper pad from, I think it's a Temu one, mottled memory. It's just a really grungy, beautiful little 6x6. Single-sided, so I don't have to worry about which side I'm actually going to use. And I've pulled it, it's got 2 sheets of each in it. Now it is 6x6, so this is 6 inches high. These have been done into 3 inches, so 6 and 6. So they will fit them perfectly. A couple of them I've sliced in half so that you didn't have to wait, and I've inked around. Now those ones will go in here. They will need to be trimmed a little bit, okay, because our score lines make it just a little bit smaller. So when that one's sitting around, if that sits up here like so, you'll see that it wants to bind a little bit there. So they will need to be cut down a little bit smaller than 3 inches wide. But if I cut them to the 3 inches to start with, I can see what I've got, and I've just cut 2 sheets into 3 inches. What we also need to do is these ones. Now these ones, kind of a little bit difficult, kind of not. I'm just going to have a look and see which ones I've got. I like that as my tab. That would be quite nice sticking out. So let's go that way. It's still going to give me a little bit of that. So I'm just going to sit that, fold that over, sit that on the end of there, like so. Straighten it up. Now this one is actually, this paper pad, just a little bit smaller than 6 inches, I noticed, but it's not enough that it's going to worry me too much. So what I'm going to do is glue all of that and stick this one down, okay, and then I'm just going to cut around it for my front one, because it's so much easier that way. So I need a piece of scrap paper. Oh, just grab that. Right, like so, stuck in there so that I'm not getting it on the rest of that, and one in there like that. Now you can double-sided tape, you can use your liquid glue. I'm nearly out of this glue stick. I'm just going to use the glue stick for this one. Make sure you've got it on everything, right down to your corners. If you find you've missed something later on, you can always add a little bit of liquid glue to it. Take that bit out, that bit out. I'm just turning this around because it makes it easier for me to see. And because it's glue and not just double-sided tape, it gives me room and time to move it. And just slide it down a little bit. As I said before, these are slightly smaller, so if I leave just a little bit top and bottom, my ink will cover it. So that's that one. What I'm going to do now is slice down there. Now when you're cutting this, make sure you don't cut into this, which is your fold. Straight down there, down there. That little section can come off. I'm just going to give that a good push to make sure it's fully stuck down, and I'm going back to my blade and my ruler. Set my ruler on there so that it covers that, and I'm just going to go very carefully, because the other thing is that my glue is still wet. A little bit up there. You'll notice I've gone back with my blade so that I didn't cut into my tab. Now I can fold this bit over and trim this one off. Like so. So there's my front page. I want to do the same with this one, and exactly the same way. So I'm going to find another nice one that I like as my tab. That darker bit would look good sticking out. Yeah, see, that dark will look nice on that. So we're going to use that one for that, exactly the same way that we just did. I'm going to put that one right there so that I don't go past. And I'm going to hold it down as I go, just while I do this section, See if this glue goes, otherwise I'm going to have to go get some more glue. Right, just like so. Now, while you're doing this, it will curl a little bit because the glue is wet. It will flatten out. Don't fret too much if it curls, because it will flatten out once it dries. Now, I want that. So I'm actually going to trim that back to about 3 inches, that side, while my glue's drying. No, I need it a little bit longer, don't I? Because I need my tab. It should be about that, because my tab is 1/2 inch. Right, turning around, getting that glue dob off there. Just like so. Take your time, line it up, top and bottom. Look at that. And that doesn't bind, okay? Now we're going to do the same here. Take these ones off carefully because my glue is extremely wet. Like so. Make sure I go right in there and I don't cut my tab. And I'll do the rest with my scissors. I can't do as much damage that way, can I? Right, so that's those ones. It is so quick and easy. Now, when we're doing this side, we need to be able to put our tabbed coloured papers on the inside of those. So see how we've got that? So we're going to do the same sort of thing, but we're going to cut our tab first. I've got a little bit of glue on that. We'll just get rid of that. So what we want to do this time is we need full sheets again. I'm liking that dark colour there. That looks nice. And that's going to be to about there. So I'm just going to hold that way. I'm going to snip down here, down here. So I'm just holding that in place. I'm going to get my pencil, mark that line, and that line, because that's where this finishes. And now I can see where I need to trim that to start with, because this one needs to be trimmed to start with. Careful you don't go too far. Like so. So now I've got my tab sitting there. Okay. So this one, which one were we doing? That one. This will slide in. So this is where you might need to rehash if you've got, see how my tab is just a little bit too wide there? Because I've traced around it or cut around it like so, it's taken the thickness of the paper in there as well, so it won't quite come in. All I need to do is take a little bit more off that, I reckon. Let's have a look. If we put that in place like so, we can see where we're just a little bit too thick. Both sides just need a sliver off them. So just the top is fine, it's just the bottom, and I'm just taking a sliver. I can always take more. I don't want to take too much and then not be able to put it back in. Like so. Right, now let's have a look again. See how it fits in better now? So I need a little bit more off that side. Just in here, you can see where it's binding and where it's not binding. So if I fold that over, see how you can see where this is lifted up? So you can see where it's binding and where it needs a little bit more taken off. Might do that with the scissors. Just a little bit. You can always take more later on. That'll sit in there. That'll sit in there. Let's have a look now. Let's see how that folds over. There we go. Look at that. Lift it up, see if anything's binding. Nope, nothing is binding. Beautiful. So now what we can do is we can glue this. Now, when I glue this, I'm going to glue all this, but I'm going to glue the tab on this side so that I can lift that up and slide that in, like so. So, get rid of some of that gluey part. Grab another piece of paper. Look at that. So I'm just going straight up. See, you can be lazy like me. Let's get rid of the paper. It's up to you. It helps if your glue is newer and you've actually got an edge on it. Right, and the other piece I needed to glue was just my tab. Like so. I'm going to slide that in. And then we're going to arrange that, move it up a little bit. Look at that. Nice and easy. Fold that one back on itself and then you can trim that section off. Okay, so now what we've got is that one done, that one done. On the back we've got that one done, which gives us the back of our tab. We've still got this one to do. So exactly the same process. Finding one that we like for our tab. Quite like that actually. I'll lose a little bit of that, but that'll be nicer. And I know it's meant to go that way, but let's face it, I can turn this any way I like. That's going to go there. Yep, that'll work. So that was about 3.5 inches, wasn't it? I'm just turning that over, sitting that on there so that it's where it needs to be. And then I can trace around my tab again. Like so. Just drop that down a little bit. Even that up. Cut that one. Because then we can just trim it a little bit just to make sure that it fits later on. But this way we've got enough that we can get in there. Get my pencil. Like so. Down there. Missed one. Oh no, I've cut it. Oh, there's nothing wrong with me. Tell you. Right. So that's that one. Sits in there, so you can see again I just need to trim a little bit. If I hold it in place I can see where I'm binding, and that'll be that corner again. the same corner as before. Yep, so see how it's lifting it up? Trim a little bit more off that. Starting right at the top because I don't need to take any more off there. It's that. And that one needs a little bit off it. You can see it's not that much that I'm taking off. Alright. Fold it over. Drop it down. That's looking pretty good. Nothing that a bit of ink won't fix. Nope, that's fine. So that can all be stuck down now as well. I'll grab that one. I'm going to have to go get some glue. Right, and a little bit on that tab. Can we see it? I'm going to have to go get some glue. Lift that up, slot it in, even that bit up. Push that down. Get rid of that gluey sheet that's underneath us. That's looking fine. That's looking fine. We're going to go get some glue. Right, so we have some new glue. Get rid of that one and use that on something else later on when I know it. I've got my own time. And we'll very quickly ink around all this. And then what we'll do is we'll put our other little pieces on. If you're concerned about your little pieces along here, you can always trim those off. So that way. Now I'm going to fold those back on themselves just so that I can ink those ones. So that one, go back through there. Same with this one. Just carefully fold it back on itself. Right, so now we can pop our other bits that I cut originally, if I can find them. So one, put it in on itself, fold it in on itself. Which one did I want as my front one? That one. Right, so we'll fold that back, fold that one back, fold that one back. There we have those ones. So that we like that. The back, we need those two covered. So that's that. Oh, losing everything here. So in here, now the ones that I cut before, which are these ones, which are our 3-inch ones, what we're going to do is actually cover the entire of that so that we don't end up with that hole sitting there like that. Okay, so this one's going to sit in here like so, and then we're going to pop our other one on the other side in there like that, and that covers that hole, so our tab is just sticking out. Does that make sense? So I'm just going to work out, I don't want that one beside all that. I like a darker one actually. That one looks a bit better, doesn't it? Maybe that one. And then on our other side, let's have a look and see what I've got. I'm liking that one better. That one. And that one, that one. I think that's the way I'm going to go. Yes. Right, so back over to this side. This one's going to sit in here like so, and as I said before, they're going to need a little bit trimming off them so that they're not binding in there. Okay, so I'm going to trim that off to start with, and I'm just going to take a sliver off. I actually like that side, so I might take the sliver off that side. Which is really our score line. That sits in there better now, so that won't bind as it closes in that way. That section needs re-inking where I just took that sliver off. And that one will go in there like that, and we'll glue that one down. This one is going to go in there like so. That one I can actually trim off once we've stuck that one down. So let's stick those down. They're stuck down. Okay, so our fronts are all glued in and we're looking like so. Turning it over, you'll see where the other pieces were. So now we can start to glue these ones in. So we've got that one. Grab some glue for that and you can glue the whole thing again. Don't know if you can see what I'm doing because I've got too far over. Alright, nice lot of glue, except this glue's white so we can't see it as well. And we're just going to pop it on, line it up, and it's going to go over the other piece so that you then can't see where, hang on, just grab that. So you can't see where that hole was where you've cut your tab. Okay, you can't see any of that now, and that's why we cover it. That's why I've used just a plain sheet and I'm covering it. You can use, as I said before, you could use a double-sided scrapbook paper, but you'll still need to cover at least some of it to take out, get rid of those, gosh I'm gluey, to take out the holes. Alright, last piece. I know I was a bit vague with our measurements to start with, but once you've worked this out, you'll be able to do these in your sleep. They're a great way to use up your paper pads again, and a great way to get through some of your 12 by 12s. And they're just a quick and easy little, oh look, that's matched up beautifully. So let's have a look. That now folds like so. This is our front. We've got tabs on both sides. There's that tab, turn it over. You've got that book and that book. So here's one I finished earlier when I was playing around. So you can see that it slightly wants to bend. Don't worry about that. It will straighten out. Here's one I did the other day with another paper pad that I had sitting around, and the other side, the other section of that 12 by 12 paper. So this one is all decorated, ready to go. So we've just got our front, which I've just decorated, popped a little bit of lace because it's me. We open this one up. We've got a tag with a pocket. We've got a little notepad. Now I've not sewn it in. What I've done is put thread around it. I'm going to pop some beads on that, I think. Popped some thread around it, tied it in a knot so that I can pop these in like so, but when they're full I can just pull them out and chuck some other papers in. Now you can have this as just a little handbag piece or something that sits on your desk to write notes in, to tuck things in, or it could be something that actually goes into your journal. So that's that page. I didn't want to cover any of that with a pocket. That one, we've got a couple of side pockets here so that pieces will go in there like so. If we turn it over this way, a couple more pockets, then into this one, a couple more pockets, and then I've popped in a belly band just a little notebook. So it's just a front one, you turn it over, it's got another cover, and if I can undo it, I've popped a little strip up here, and that's just stapled in to the back of that, and then this is just attached on top of it. So, and that just slides straight in again like that. They are so easy to do. I hope you enjoyed this one. We're not going to decorate that one because then my videos just go too long and I waffle too much. But I want to show you what one looks like so we can see when we open it out, it's exactly the same thing. Turn it over, same thing. It all just folds into one. There we go. There we go. And it all just folds into one. Now whether you go that way or whether you go that way, it depends on which way you want your tabs. It's up to you. Hope you've enjoyed this one. Go back, get my measurements again. I'm so sorry for those measurements. It is easy to do, I promise you. I hope you liked it. If you did, give me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, I'd love you to. Thank you all very much. And until next time, happy crafting. Bye.